Hello, me hearties. A very good morning to you and a very, very warm welcome to our random pop-up this Saturday morning. The time just gone at 9:35 on Saturday morning, Saturday the 20th of May, 2023. I give you the date because time passes so fast. People say, oh my goodness. And also people like to know if it's actually live. Hello, Scotty, says Owen. Hello, Owen and DINKY-DOO. Hi, guys. If you're coming on, tell us where you're watching from. Always lovely to have you with us and a very, very warm welcome. Spread the word. Scotty, why did you choose to go live now? That guy, I've had a little bit of time and I thought I'll just pop up and see who's about. I do lots of experimenting to see when's the best time and when suits everybody, that sort of thing. Chris Wolfie has sent me a heart. I thank you very much. And Chris, you've become a huge member of the team. Tally ho, McCLUE, Duke. Tally ho to you, as spread the word. Why do you ask why I went live now? Because I'm interested. Scotty, I'm a common view and I'm in Glasgow. Ah, that guy, excellent stuff. That's so good to hear from you. And of course, good Saturday, Scotty, says the wonderful Frank McElroy. Frank is a master baker. Hello from Cretan the day. Diker, we love you in Cretan. Get following. Thank you, Oliver, for following. Very, very important. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 that Scotty McClue is live just for you on TikTok and YouTube. Ahoa, up the Royal Artillery, says Rorox. Obviously a big British Army man. We salute you. Hello, Scotty. Long time no see. Tonic. Thank you so much for my lovely red roses. Thank you for contributing to the live. My goodness me, you've been on. I set a tiny live, just some red roses. I'll tell you what I might do once, and we'll see if anybody actually goes for it. We'll look for one of the high value ones and just put up one and see if anybody goes for it. Amazing that would be, because that would help with promotion and advertising. Very, very important. On TikTok's Top Talk Show with me, Scotty McClue. Best time for Saturdays would be 9 a.m. and then your lives at 9 p.m. Well, we're pretty well 9 a.m. now, Frank. We're 9:39, so we're on about 40 minutes out. Why do you think the best time would be 9 o'clock? I mean, sometimes I try 6 o'clock in the morning. 7 o'clock, you've seen me in the morning. It was fantastic on QT this week. Yes, Chris, very good. But they need to sort it out. They all need to back the monarchy 100% to give them any credibility. There's a wonderful Keith Snedden has joined us. What a top man. Keith, so lovely to have you with us. Thank you again for all your kindness and your wonderful generosity over the piece to Scotty McClue. And of course, we support your health 1,000%. We send you love. It was from Fort William. Absolutely, Chris. Yes, indeed, from the fort. We were wondering if we should change the name of Fort William, because that's obviously called after King Billy. And I wonder if we should change it. Somebody suggested Fort Hamza, and we wondered about Fort Salmond or Fort Sturgeon. Just a thought. Of course, you could keep it royal, and it could be Fort Charles. Good morning, Scotty. Good morning, Alex. I'm lovely to have you with us. And DINKY-DOO. My uncle makes me debate maths. Says Jim. Yes, indeed. I'm the same as you, Scotty. Up early doors, Frank. So sometimes you'll have seen me do the red eye, the early bird. Very important. DINKY-DOO. Guys, if you're watching Scotty McClue right now, get following as soon as you possibly can. Oh no, that would be terrible, says Chris. Do you think so, Chris? Because you've got not just Fort William, you've got Fort George. And I mean, these are right in the heart of the Highlands. Scotty, what was your favourite subject in school? Oh, I think without a doubt English and history, although I loved physics and chemistry. They were excellent as well, but definitely English and history. I also quite enjoyed Latin, for anybody who's going to Latin for their holidays. There we go. See what I just did there? Now, what have we got here? Are you seeing Beyonce in Edinburgh today? No, I'm seeing Beyond Edinburgh today. So how about Bothy Elizabeth? Bothy, yes, for the forts. Yes, hardly a Bothy. I think history is the top. Well, I loved my history. We had a wonderful, wonderful teacher. So that's the stuff like that. Now then, hi, Chris, DINKY-DOO. Lovely to have you with us. Good morning. Now, guys, lots and lots of new videos on the TikTok just for you. Watch every single one of them. Follow me, please, and share, right? And I've also stuck just a wee tiny goal. Just it helps with promotion, advertising, all these things. You'll see up there, 500 red roses. Are we going to make it this morning? Morning, sir. Good morning, Jay. DINKY-DOO. Brody says, what's happening? Everything, Brody. Scottie McCLUE is happening. That's what it's all about. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. We need to get the YouTube channel performing, guys. So if you like to check that out, you will see the link in the bio. And click on that and go and subscribe, because I would like 4,000 subscribers. So there we are. DINKY-DOO, yes, Ewan. Up the Royal Artillery, says user 369. We salute the Royal Artillery. User 369, big British Army fan. Yes, everybody is, I think. Absolutely. And it's interesting that you're a Royal Artillery man in Ireland. Are you in the Republic? You know? Do you ever have a day off, Chris? I have days off all the time. You know what I mean? Because I do different things. I think that's the one. I'm watching the stream from work. Love it, big man. James, DINKY-DOO. Tell us roughly what you do. Oh, my goodness. My, what's happening there? My YouTube's jumping. I'm just wondering if we've got a dodgy cable. It did this the other day, and I wondered if I might have moved something. We might have a dodgy cable. Might need to get myself a new mouse. A mouse. There we are. What are you on about the day? John McKenzie, we're on about everything the day. Yes, indeed. Very important. You're a legend, Scottie, says JMSB. There's a ghost behind you. Oh, no, not the ghost. It's not the ghost of the gowned figure with the dog, is it? Oh, I could tell you the story of the gowned academic with the dog. Oh, somebody said it's behind me. Follow us as soon as you can. Are you on it the day? We're on it every day. We're at the hot chocolate. Fantastic. Guys, can everybody watching follow and share right now? There's a moose loose about your hoose, Keith Snedden. Do you remember that? Every night, the theme tune, I can't hum it or we'll get done for copyright, but there's a moose loose about this hoose. More than a moose loose about the hoose. When we did the radio, I can tell you there were a few tongues loose about the hoose. I was watching people putting up the radio figures and I was thinking, wow, I bet they long for the day when Scottie McClue's audiences used to come in. Shout out to Grace, DINKY-DOO Grace. I will. SM. There we are. So, Chris, yes, what do you mean by a day off? You know, I think if you do what you love doing, you'll never work a day in your life. And I love talking to people because it's so interesting to find out what everyone thinks. And that's why the idea of what we're doing right now is just so simple. It's just us all getting together for a wee chit chat. We're like a massive, massive global family. Or family around the world. You've got to watch the term global these days. Oh my goodness me, you have to watch everything. That was interesting about Fort William, is that true? Yes, Chris. Fort William would be called after King William. These forts were set up by the British Crown at the time to keep the Scots in order. So they were around at the times of the risings of 1715 and 1745. Also, if you're coming down the A9, you can't do this if you're driving, but your passenger could point out to you Ruthven Barracks, just a big old ruined barracks where the Redcoats used to be based. Keith Snedden, what are you doing, you beautiful, kind, generous man? What's your opinion? Wait a minute. What's your opinion on a united Ireland? Well, Mallet, I was talking to a lady who's very, very senior in Ireland and said to me recently, do you know, Scotty, it's only a matter of time. So there you are. So I think love from the Govan team. Hello, Arthur. Hi from Chesterfield. We love Chesterfield. Have you still got the bent spire in the church? You know what that was? It was green heart timbers, and they twisted as they settled. Blood, someone get on. What's that one, Blood? What do you think about Wales? Well, I love Wales, you see, and I love the male voice choirs. Land of my fathers, men of Harlech, and of course Carnarvon and Swansea. Yes, Yaki da, Wales, no star. Thank you to Keith Snedden for contributing. Keith, you've just given me 30 red roses. OMG, I remember you, Scotty, Saf, Scotty McClue, just for you. Which radio station? Because we had so many cracking radio stations. Where are you going swimming, says user 882. Well, of course, I haven't swum. So the last time I actually went swimming, I swam in Galway Bay with Lord Reith, the Black Labrador. You can see behind me. God rest his soul, I'd say. And he had a soul. So, Zeph has just given me some beautiful gifts. Zeph, you've got a gift badge. Zeph has sent daisies. Isn't that beautiful, guys? Can we all share this right now? Follow Scotty McClue. And I've done yesterday morning, just around 8 o'clock, I did a video from Glasgow University, the finest seat of learning in the world. You have my flat cap. Welcome from Glasgow. Good. I came back, user 882. Quite right. You're coming with us. I shan't come with you today because I'm very, very maxed today. Do you like the Scottish First Minister? Well, I don't know the Scottish First Minister. I have met him and shaken his hand. I don't know if he will remember me. In fact, he extended his hand to me during a BBC program. So what about that? A live question program. End of the day, Scotty, it's what time suits you to come on live? Frank, it's just if we manage to get a window. I mean, I would stay on all day talking to you guys, but it's just getting a window. Have you met the King, says Joel? Yes, you'll see if you scroll down your TikTok videos, you'll see the King and I. So there, it wasn't the King, though, when I met him. Are you a Beatles fan? Huge Beatles fan. I saw her standing there. Tennessee, the USA in the house, loves the lives. Tennessee, we love having you with us. The Tennessee Waltz. So there we go. What's your best pick-up line? We've got to be very careful with pick-up lines, you know, because I remember the old famous one, the Francie and Josie. I could live in your eyes. Well, take the left one. There's a sty in it. Oh, you silly wizard fan, yes. Hello from South Africa. We love having you with us from South Africa. You fake Gleska, I fake Mary Hill. So there you are. Thank you, Cha. You had some good views of the university. Did you have a walk round? I did, Chris. Did you like it? Excellent. And Fort George, Chris, was of course called after King George. Fort Augustus is different. I think that will be a Roman fort from the Emperor Augustus. Lemonade or iced tea? Oh, Billy. All these huge decisions. I would say, why do you do lives, says Ollie? Because I like to talk to the people directly, Ollie, and get the feedback. Is that not beautiful? And also, I don't know there are many of older guys on TikTok, a bit of fun. When you posted the video of where am I, did I get the correct answer? Where did you say, Frank? What do you think of Ardnamurchan? I love the Ardnamurchan Peninsula. I used to go to Tobermory for my holidays. And at that time, you could play down at the pier, and beside the pier, there are a set of steps. And there used to be a wee boat came into these steps called the Loch Buoy, which was one of David McBrain's boats, McBrain's ships. I think she was an old air-sea rescue launch. She had Gardner diesels in her. And I can remember the Loch Buoy coming in, and you could go on board the Loch Buoy, and you could get a trip to Ardnamurchan. But I went to Ardnamurchan by road. It was a dual carriageway because it had grass up the centre of the road, as a wee boy pointed out. And we went up Ardnamurchan Lighthouse, up the Policeman's Hat. And it was just absolutely breathtaking. Ardnamurchan, the west coast of Scotland. And the sands of Morar and Calgary Bay on Mull. Mingaree. The Loch Buoy took the mail over, you see. So she did the Mingaree run. Now, who have we got? You were a race car driver. Well, I've done a wee bit in my day, Getting the foot down, not wasting my time, but of course, with safety in mind all the time. So there we are. Very interesting. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. The Kelvin Art Gullies. No, but you weren't far away, Frank. I wasn't there, but you were not far away. I say to you, guys, I'm just checking. Has everybody followed? We must get the followers going, you see. And also, I want you to click on the link in my TikTok bio. Does every person in the UK want to be a race driver? Billy, I think only since the steam trains stopped in 1965. Until then, everyone wanted to be a train driver on a steam train, controlling the old, what does it call it, the regulator, letting the steam in and out. I have done my share of that, user 545. I say to you, and of course, a lot of youngsters now want to be a pilot, but that's quite a dear way. That's the stuff. I think it's to do with being in charge. Fantastic stuff. Now then, who else have we got here? Thank you for following, everybody. We need to get the followers going. Big star. Did you ever meet Jackie Stewart? No. I didn't meet Jackie, but his family had the garage at Dumbarton, and Jackie used to do a lot of his fast driving around Loch Lomond side. Now you've got to watch around there because the police are very hot in Dumbarton. Scotty, have you seen, by hot, I don't mean stunningly good looking. Do you know what I'm saying? Scotty, have you ever seen the news about COVID being about since 1965? Well, Frank, I think there's all sorts of things been about since early days, you know, but maybe they didn't quite recognize it. I mean, Frank, they used to think smoking was good for you. And I've just put a video up just before I came on this morning, just before I started the live stream. What's a good movie set in Scotland, Billy? There's so many. I would say to you, Tunes of Glory. Yes, look up Tunes of Glory on your YouTube. Star-studded cast. I think the best movie ever made. It didn't do as well at the box office as it should have done. I don't know why. But I got backed up by no less a man than Alfred Hitchcock, who backed up Scottie McCLUE by saying that he thought Tunes of Glory was the best movie ever made. Set in a Scottish regiment after the Second World War. Gordon Jackson as the adjutant. Who have we got? Sir Alec Guinness as one of the officers that's come up through the ranks. Sir John Mills as the officer from the public school in Sandhurst. What's the best loch? There are so many MX. For me, the best loch has to be Loch Fyne. I've got 1,700 likes. Can everybody go tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap, and let us know. Favourite war hero of history? Apart from my own father, Big Archie, I think the Argyll and Southern Highlanders. So I think Gordon Macmillan, General Sir Gordon Macmillan of Knapp, of Finlayson House at Langbank in Scotland, late of Finlayson House, knew him very well. His ADC, Colin Mitchell, Mad Mitch of Aden, a very fine fellow indeed. Brigadier Lon Campbell, VC. Look all these guys up, guys. They're fantastic. Gordon Macmillan was a wonderful, wonderful man. His nickname was Babe, I think because he had this lovely, fresh face, and Lady Macmillan. And I can remember being privileged to have afternoon tea with them in their big dining room at Finlayson. Scotty, what do you think of Andy Stewart? Well, I knew Andy Stewart quite well. I worked with Andy Stewart. And you'll see him on Grampian Television, Hogmanay Show 1984. And you should also see Scottie McClure. What a fine morning in Scotland it is, Scotty. Sandy. Well, we're a wee bit overcast in Glasgow. I was once in a drama that was a wee bit overcast. Have you never heard of Pimlinton? Where are we, Greg? Tell us more. Drummers or pipers, says Billy. Well, I love my pipers, but they're enhanced by the drummers. And who's in charge of the band? The drum major. Thought, you see? See what I just did there? The drum major is in charge of discipline and appearance and all that stuff. And now then, Paul, you're spamming me now. You need to stop spamming or I'll have to mute you. Yeah, I'll have to mute Paul. He's spamming. There we go. Sorry, Paul, but we can't be spammed like that. Oh, dearie me. I'll mute you for 5 minutes, Paul, but don't be spamming. We had to stop Paul's spamming. Fantastic. Right, so there we are. Guys, can we all tell Paul we don't spam, we don't troll, and we don't scroll? Highlander filmed in Curris. Or Culross, Chris, you've put Culcross. It's Culross. So there you are, Highlander. Yes, very, very good. I think I've been to Tobermory with all the coloured houses. Yes, Chris. Or you might have seen Balamory on the telly, children's television. So there we go. Because I remember there was somebody who was very high up in the BBC who came from Mull. Marvellous, isn't it? Have you ever been to Kilwinning, Scotty? Many, many, many times to the lovely Kilwinning. There we are. Take care, Scotty. We'll catch up again soon. Frank, you too. Lovely to hear from you. And Dinky-Doo. So there we go. Now, Kay, as far as we know, there's never, ever, ever been any of that. So you're obviously some kind of dafty with a very twisted way about you. So we'll say goodbye to you. Raise your game, Kay. I'm going to have to block you for life, but raise your game. Right, that's KOA, guys. Thank you very much. Ridiculous nonsense. These are the wee kind of trolls that you get on TikTok, but it's a shame for them because they can't be as stupid as they come across. So there we are. Bye, Kay. Everybody say goodbye to Kay, please. Thank you. Now, what do we got here? Scotty, you never get old. Well, I would hope not. Although I am approaching midlife. We don't want a midlife crisis, but I am approaching midlife. Does haggis taste as bad as it looks? Well, I think it looks excellent and it tastes beautiful. The Queen was cousins with Philip, yes, remotely cousins. And I think, was there not some family relationship with Queen Victoria and Prince Albert? But you can marry your cousin, I think. I don't think there's a problem with that. Haggis is banging. Haggis is beautiful. Imagine knocking our national dish. Do you remember 1955? No, Billy, because I wasn't born. I might remember bits of it, because I've quite a good memory of being in the womb. And I've never been so warm and so comfortable or so loved. I don't know, mind you. There we are. Goodness. Cole Ross. Which royal member of the family do you think you'd have got on with, dead or alive? I think I'd probably have got on very well with Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. We liked her. I think I'd have got on very well with His Royal Highness the Prince Philip. I liked his style. We're both Geminis, you see. I think I'd have got on very well with Prince Albert. Very, very bright man, interesting character. I think I'd have got on extremely well with his eldest son, Edward VII. I think I'd have got on very well with the Queen's father, George VI. Nice man. Quiet, but very nice. Proper gent. And who else would I have got on with? I think I'd get on very well with Her Royal Highness, the Princess Anne. I think I'd get on very well with the King, although I wouldn't argy-bargy with the King, because I don't think he likes arguments. So I wouldn't do any of my argy-bargy stuff. I don't think there'd be a problem with that, though. Because I know people that know the King, and he's a nice guy. As a young man, did you dream of meeting a princess? I'd quite like to have met the old Princess Royal, who was King George V's daughter, the King's sister, Princess Mary. I think she'd have been quite interesting. What's your honest opinion of Lady Diana? I liked her and I understood where she was coming from. I think she could be a minx. I think she caused a lot of trouble for the royal family. But then there was a lot of criticism came her way. I admired the way she learned so many things. because obviously school didn't particularly suit her. And I was very, very sorry about what happened to her in the end, but I wasn't actually surprised. Do you know that when she went to, was it Sardinia, as a guest on a yacht, just, days before she died, my mother, who was quite far-seeing, she had her leg up on somebody's shoulder on a jet ski, I think it was. And my mother said, that lassie's going to come to harm. You know, I think she felt she was being a bit reckless. Very, very interesting. I remember her saying that lassie needs to watch. She's going to come to harm someday. And about a week later, Diana was dead. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Not wearing a seatbelt. She didn't have the security of the Royal Protection Squad. You know. Time to charge foreign trucks for driving in the UK. Your favourite American? Well, it's got to be. We loved John F. K., but they clobbered poor John F. K. for wanting change. I think Donald Trump has got to be the man of the moment when it comes to favourite Americans, but there's stacks of them. Royal coverage, BBC or ITV? Well, the BBC always do it extremely well. That's one thing they do. We missed the late, great Tom Fleming as commentator for the coronation. I'm trying to think who was the last commentator. Richard Dimbleby, the father of David and Jonathan. Richard Dimbleby did the coronation in 1953. And I'm trying to think who did the radio. Was it John Snagg? Some of you will know. Tell me, it's a long time ago. So there we are. What he said, God bless the famous Glasgow Rangers. I think King Charles was not interested in Diana. He was in love with another woman. Yes, but it was unthinkable. That woman, I think, had married by that time. And it was unthinkable. And Charles's great uncle, honorary grandfather, the late Lord Mountbatten, sadly murdered by cowards. He, I think, thought about Camilla. It's a pity he ever let her go, from that point of view. But Charles was getting pushed into time you were getting married. And I think his father, the late, great, His Royal Highness, the Prince Philip, marvellous man, but I think he pressured his son a lot, and his son is a sensitive man, and Prince Philip was a tough guy. Favourite English automobile maker, alive or dead? Walter Owen Bentley, C.S. Rolls, and Henry Royce. Sir John Black, the Standard Vanguards, Standard Company. Willie Roots, Lord Roots. I'm trying to think who was behind Rover. Armstrong and Sidley. Yes, Hawker Sidley Group. Bought over by Tommy Sopwith. Thomas Octave Murdoch. Sopwith. Sopwith Camel. Tommy ended up as the chairman of Hawkers, and he bought Armstrong Sidley. I can see you in a nice silver Bentley. It would have to be an old one, though. Hey, how you doing? Maybe an S-type Bentley, you know? Thoughts on East Lothian, Tom Cool? I just adore East Lothian. I lived in East Lothian for 3 years. I lived out between the Sultans. And you can't be in two places at once, guys. But I have loved everywhere I have lived. Aberdeen, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Carlisle, Pitlochry, bit in Newcastle, Preston in Lancashire, Manchester, Sheffield, twice, London, lovely flat in London, in the Queen's Gate beside the embassies. E-Type, Jag, British Racing Green. London's a bit of a dump now. Yes, we've let it go. You see, I think the last 13 years of government have been 100% disgrace. Just greed, no interest in the people. Have you ever lived in Inverclyde? Yes, I lived in Greenock for 23 years. Aberlady is so beautiful. The whole of East Lothian. What do you drive? I drive very old cars. I just had to send one to Car Heaven, and it was 23 years old. My other one is 31 years old. Do you have any chased by wildlife stories? No, I've been followed by a dog. Very clever. Will Scotland ever gain independence? If they get 100% behind the monarchy, if they stop the nonsense, if they go slightly more to the right of centre, they're a wee bit lefty at the moment, and that never goes down well. You know, if I was taking over as First Minister, we'd have to make a few changes, but we'd still look after our young people, and we'd make sure we weren't controlled by anywhere else, Europe or anywhere. The dog in the picture behind you is so cute. Lord Reith was just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Guys, what's the time? I popped up for 2 minutes. My goodness me, we've been almost 40 minutes. If you were a bird, what kind of bird would you be? If I was a bird, what kind of bird would I be? You see, so many. A pheasant, but I wouldn't like to get shot at. A peacock? No, a bit too strutting. A bit full of themselves, the peacocks, aren't they? So what could we have? See the car behind me? I had one of those, if you can see it behind me, the P38. Now, I'm just trying to think. You'd make a fine Rocco is a prat. Rocco has confessed. Rocco, why are you fessing up as a prat? Guys, why would Rocco call himself a prat? What a strange thing to say. Think of it as a fine owl. They could be wise. Ooh. 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 The best red wine. The best red wine are not necessarily expensive ones. You used to get a nice bottle when I drank red wine, which I don't now. You get a bottle for about $5. And the Californians are very nice. The Australians are very nice. I think the Cabernet Sauvignon is probably your best bet. Or a Rioja. He hasn't had his coffee yet. I don't drink coffee, Billy. Haven't had coffee. He hasn't had his coffee for 42 years. There we go. Have you got a family tartan? I have indeed. What football team do you support? Ooh, very big on the Greenock Morton, the Partick Thistle. We are the Jaggies, the Jaggy Bunnets. If there's a bird, it'd be a goose. There's no way he could fly. How very harsh, Toad. I fly quite beautifully, I'll have you believe. Oh, don't try that at home now. When I was little, we used to watch Batman on a Sunday afternoon. And do you drink tea, decaffeinated? No, I don't go for the decaf, because sometimes the chemicals are used to decaf it are probably worse for you than the caffeine. So I tend to go for the Earl Grey or the Yorkshire tea. Scotty, I used to walk the dog down South Shields Beach. Reese, so did I. I walked Lord Reither's South Shields, man. What about the Premier League teams? Oh, well, they're very good. You know, there's lots of them. Manchester United was just across the canal from me when I worked in Manchester. I could look out the studio window. I just turned round, and there was Man U. And Sir Alex Ferguson was the manager, and they were just outstanding. Current favourite ice cream flavour? How dull am I? Vanilla, chocolate chip mint, toffee, strawberry, butterscotch. That'll do you for now. Paul, I don't know what you're doing. You're back spamming. Have you ever seen Still Game? If not, you should. Daniel, of course I've seen Still Game. I was apparently the original inspiration for Still Game. The guys saw the bonnet and heard me on the wireless and thought, Still Game. Have you stopped doing radio? I loved listening to you. Teresa, there's not very much available in radio. It's mainly jukebox. And they're very nervous about keeping their figures, and they've done very well, the radio stations. Not in the Scottie McCLUE League, like you don't get. So I had 750,000 listening to me every night, 5 nights a week. 3.5 million, 3.750 million, 3.75 million used to listen just to my show every week. And on the TikTok, already 154 million have watched my TikTok videos. So I suppose technically, I'm TikTok famous. Oh my goodness, guys, everybody get following, please. And get tapping. We've got 2,400 likes. Now, there we go. Everyone listen to you. I think they did Little Miss Sunshine because it was just different and vibrant and exciting and of interest and funny. Favorite dog breed? Got to be the Black Labrador and the Yellow Labrador, the West Highland White Terrier, the old Poltalloch Terrier, because it was Sir Ian Malcolm at Poltalloch House in Argyll, just across the moss from Crinan, that bred these white terriers and registered them with the Kennel Club in 1908 as the Poltalloch Terrier, the West Highland White Terrier, White Westies. The wee Cairns, quite nice if you like terriers. The Jack Russell, lovely wee guy. All dogs really. Oh, the Red Setter. I used to look after Red Setter for friends, and she was just gorgeous. Why don't you speak Scottish, says Conan to Daniel. So there we are. Right. Paul, we're going to have to mute you, I'm afraid. We'll have to mute Paul. What a shame he hasn't learned his lesson. We'll mute you for the live, Paul. There you go. That's the stuff, going on and on and on, asking the same question. Now, what do we got here? Unlucky Paul? No, it was his own fault. He was daft. And Najib from Kenya and Somalia. Hello, Jambo Najib. Jambo. Lovely to have you with us. My first car was a Ford Escort, 8 years old. That's a bit young to be driving, Chris. So it looks vaguely like a black cab. It does. Do you know, when I used to drive home from the radio stations late on a Friday night, one night it was bucketing rain, and I passed in the P38 Range Rover, and people were trying to hail me as a black cab. There we are. Hello from Boston in the USA. We love you, Billy, in Boston in the USA. Billy Winston from Boston. How fabulous is that? There we go. Now then, more followers, please. Guys, get on to all the TikTok videos. And can you tell me, can everybody watching on TikTok now go to the bio, tap the YouTube channel, and tell me if the link's working okay? And subscribe. Opinion on a holiday in Fuerteventura. Lovely. Beautiful. The capital of the UK is London, England. Yes, I suppose you could be. That's the capital of England. You see, I would say the capital of the UK was Edinburgh in Scotland. But Glasgow was the second city of the empire because Scotland took over the English crown in 1603. But I suppose London's the centre. You see, you've got the City of London, which is the financial centre, but that's effectively a separate state. So the capital is Londinium, the old Roman capital. I would say so, yes. Should King Charles apologise for slavery? No. No, not at all, because he didn't start it. You see, if you look at properly the history of slavery, you'll find out that it was black Africans trading black Africans, you know? And that's how it all started. And it was very, very cruel. Nobody's doubting any of that. But it was how things were done at the time. Everyone did it. That's like, should you apologize for cutting people's heads off at Bannockburn? You know? Where do you stop? God bless the Pope, says Jay. Jay, absolutely. God bless His Holiness the Pope. A fine fellow. An intercessor between the people and their God. What are your thoughts on the Irish and their country? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. They get a bit bored, like the Scots used to in the 13 to 1500s or 1600s, and they fight each other because they struggle to contain it to just argument. So my advice to the people of Ireland, you're beautiful, beautiful people. You have a beautiful, beautiful country. You're the mother and father of all of us to an extent. Because, I mean, I don't know why Celtic supporters of Scotland would ever cheek up about the king, because the monarchy originated in Ireland with the old Celtic or Celtic kings. So they're knocking their own people. So, you know, it's singing against your own people, singing against Ireland. Do you play a musical instrument? Did you ever try? Well, Billy, I have the squeeze box here. What time are we at, folks? We have to watch our time. I have the squeeze box here, and I play that sometimes. I'll give you a tune. This is for Billy in Boston, who's watching right now. Here we go. Did you like that? Then it's there. The wee squeeze box. You know. I'm from County Kerry. Is that a recording? No, I've just played it. On you go, wee Scottie McClue. Have you ever been to Dunfermline? Many times. The good city of Dunfermline. Amazing, Scottie. I thank you, Zach. And Dinky-Doo to you. Thank you for all your red roses. Guys, I've got 35 out of my 500 red roses. If anybody's feeling flush and can afford a red rose, chuck it into the little goal at the top there and let me know. I only discovered you 10 minutes ago. You're terrific. Billy Winston, I'm so glad. Share us around Boston. What have we got here? Amazing. Dinky-Doo, Scotty Shand. Best place in Scotland, Scotty boy. Do you mean apart from the city of Glasgow? Ardrishig in Argyll. Tarbert in Argyll. Oban in Argyll. Tobermory and Mull. Iona. Inverness. Elgin. Lossiemouth. Aberdeen. Dundee. Carnoustie. Stirling. Perth. Outstanding. Calendar. Doon. Falkirk. Ken. St Andrews. Ken. Methil. Kirkcaldy. Gurris. Kinross. Bridge of Erne. Dunkeld. Fort William. I didn't manage to make it to Skye, but I believe Skye is very beautiful. Scotty, what was your favourite place to eat in Greenock? Oh, there were so many lovely places to eat in Greenock. We used to go to La Lucino and Aldo's and Mr. Rossini's Cafe and Mr. Gregori's, the West End Cafe, and the Esplanade Cafe, and the Bluebird Cafe, and the Cardwell Cafe. Fantastic. All these lovely places. I'll tell you, another lovely place to eat was at Mackay's, the Lawn. Yes, indeed. Mackay's, the bakers, guys. What about that one? Fantastic. I have to go. Sorry, I've got to go to Dingle for the day. Now, listen, you take Scottie McClue's fondest regards to Dingle. What a beautiful part of the world, I say to you all. And to all you beautiful Irish people, I send you love. Stop fighting each other. Stop fighting your brothers and sisters. Scotty, can we get a hello and a dinky-doo for Gordon of Beath? We can, yes, absolutely. I quit smoking 25 years ago, cold turkey. Yes, are you still cold turkey or have you got over it? I quit. When did I quit? 23 years ago, so I'm 2 years behind you. Will do. Quivik, you're better now there. Have you been to Ballacholish? I know Ballacholish very well, and Dura. I was invited to visit the Ballacholish Bridge under construction and was allowed to walk out. I was a guest of the engineering team, and I was allowed to come and inspect the Ballacholish Bridge before it had joined up. And I remember the wee green with the red superstructure ferries, because, I mean, the current is very powerful there. And they had to fight their way up or down, depending, and just float across with the turntables. What was one of them called? Was it the Maid of Ballacholish or the Maid of Glencoe? What are the names of the Ballacholish ferry? And I used to love having a coffee. If you missed the ferry, you would have a coffee at the hotel. There we are, just at the slickway there. And just watch the ferries at the windy. No rush. Across the Ballachulish, Harry, the Ballachulish. And yes, and I loved it. And I can remember the wee church at Ballachulish and Dura, the Reverend McLean, a finer man you would never meet. You need to set up a TikTok shop. I think we might have to do that. Guys, I'm going to have to go soon. Look at the time. This has been just so beautiful. My food's cold now. Sell all the Scottish souvenirs. I'd like to hear you recite some Scottish poetry. What about to a haggis? Shall we give you that one? Fair for your honest sonsy face, great chieftain o' the puddin' race. Aboon them all you tak your place, pinch, tripe, or thorn. Will you worthy of a grace, as lang as my earn? So it took me 12 years to trust myself, but I do have an occasional cigar. Space Cowboy, I don't know if you drink alcohol, but when you've had some alcohol to drink and people are smoking around you and you're just not interested at all, you know you've won the day. You've won the day, boy, but well done. Give up the smoking. And guys, can you all share that anti-smoking video I did this morning? What's your plans for today, Scotty? A full day of domestication. So we need to check out the garden at McCLUE Towers. We need to do some serious paperwork. And we need to do a fair bit of high dusting, and a bit of, I can't say the actual propriety name, so a bit of vacuuming. I threw away my old vacuum cleaner the other day at the dump, and I said, see ya, sucker. So there we go. Do you like Robert Ferguson poetry? Yes, I like all of it, and I'll tell you. Robert Service, Scotsman, went to Hillhead High School. And Robert W. Service, and then went out to Canada. Wrote wonderful poetry, guys. Get a look at that. So many wonderful Scottish